Hey guys, it's Brian from the Really Useful Thailand channel. Today's video is all about Thailand reopening and the 5 things that you definitely need to know before you book your trip. In fact, if you don't do these 5 things, you will not be able to come, so check out the video. Okay guys, so we had a huge announcement out of Thailand last night, and it is reopening to foreign tourists on the 1st of November without quarantine, which is absolutely massive news and a much needed boost for the tourist industry over here. Now, if you know much about Thailand, you'll know that not always is everything black and white. So I've put together a little list that will make it clear about what you need to do and things you need to watch out for if you're coming over here. But before I fire into the 5 things you need to know about Thailand reopening, just let me say, if you're going to take anything from this video, then make sure you pay attention to point number 5. Because if you don't do this, it's going to cause you a major headache getting into Thailand. So make sure that you stick around for that one. Okay, so first point you're going to need to know if you plan to come is that you need to be fully vaccinated with 2 shots. Now you can still come unvaccinated, however if you don't have the jabs you're still going to need to do 10 days quarantine, and I'm afraid that is unavoidable. So if you're against the vaccination, it's completely your choice, but you know, maybe it's not the time to come to Thailand. Because I think, in my opinion, it's unlikely that that one's going to change anytime soon. Point number 2 on the list, I know that no one likes that little swab shoved up their nose, but unfortunately you need to show proof of a PCR test 72 hours before boarding your flight. Now, I came back to Thailand last month, so I've got a little tip for you on this one, which was probably going to save you a bit of cash as well. You can actually do a PCR test kit from home, and you do not need to go to a clinic. It's really important to note though that you cannot do a free test kit from a health service. You know, so like if you're in the UK, you cannot use the UK health service one, which is free. I know you're going to have to pay a little bit of money. Now, I flew from the UK and I used a company called Randox Health. Now, you can order the kit as soon as you know you're going to come to Thailand, because you only register it when you use it. Now, the great thing about these guys is that they've got a map of drop-off locations all over the country. So all you need to do is register your kit once you've taken the test, package it up, and then it tells you to drop it off at one of these boxes which are located in, like, you know, popular places. I actually dropped mine off at a service station on the motorway, so that was pretty cool. Now, if you drop it off before PM, then you're going to get the results the next day before midnight. Now, they guarantee that, but ours actually arrived at 10 AM the next day, which was amazing. Okay, so this is a little tip. This is going to save you some cash. Go to the British Airways website and order a test through their link to get £5 off. So rather than paying £125 from a clinic, we actually ended up only paying £45, which I think's a nice little tip on that one. Okay, so number 3 on the list, one of the stipulations of Thailand reopening is that 1 night of your accommodation needs to be booked and paid for in advance. And that is because in the price of that hotel is going to be included a PCR test. Now, all you need to do is book your hotel or guest house, pay in advance, and have proof of that booking when you arrive in Thailand. Now, this is just to make sure that you test negative before being able to travel around the country, if you know what I mean. Okay guys, so point number 4, you are going to need insurance cover up to the value of 50,000 US dollars. Now, I know that sounds a lot, but it's not exactly as expensive as you might think. Now, when I was doing my research, I found that the best place to get this was AXA Thailand, because they cover you if you contract COVID-19 and have no symptoms. Now, if you're booking it anywhere else, make sure that you check that it covers you being asymptomatic, because I've heard of people who end up in state quarantine for 2 weeks at their own expense. And when I was checking this when I was going through the policies, most other policies did not cover that, and the ones that did were a lot more expensive, so it's worth checking out. Guys, this point is super important, alright? So point number 5, make sure that you print all of the paperwork before you go. Otherwise, you'll be at the airport in Thailand for hours while they organise printing it out for you. Now, they do not accept electronic version, and I know this because it happened to me. I arrived in Phuket, I had to wait 3 hours until everyone else was processed, which was an absolute nightmare. So make sure you print your PCR test, your vaccination certificate, your hotel confirmation, and anything else that they ask you for in the process, and you should be good to go. Okay, as always guys, if you've got any comments or questions, or you think I've not covered anything in the video, why not drop them in the comments section below, because I always like to try and answer as many of your questions as possible. And that's pretty much it. That's the 5 things you need to know before coming to Thailand after November the 1st. Why not check out my next video, which tells you 5 things you need to look out for when you arrive in Bangkok, which also includes a popular airport scam you should look out for. And if you want to be notified of my new videos, then obviously please subscribe and ring the bell. You can see the button in the video. Catch you later, guys.